Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's event as part of our 90 Days Around the World series. We are live tonight all the way from Canada with Dan Aykroyd of Head Vodka. Mark and I are so excited to have him on tonight for a little vodka tasting. So tonight you have me, Carol Ann, your moderator. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave those on the Zoom chat if you're here on Zoom, or if you're on Facebook, go ahead and leave a comment on the live feed, and James is going to be sharing all of your questions and comments with me to share here on Zoom with Mark and Dan. So you also have our spirits marketing specialist, Mark Roy, on tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mark. We're so excited to have a few more spirits events with you as part of this series. And of course, we have the man, the legend, Dan Aykroyd. Dan, welcome. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Sure enough, it's nice to just get near one of your stores again and your organization. You do great liquor supermarkets down there. You know how to do it. You're setting an example for marketers all over the country at the state agencies. We love having you as a partner. It's just wonderful to walk into one of your outlet stores, see the selection and the help that's being given, and the pricing. The consumer gets a good deal, and more importantly, what the money goes for. Everybody must know that in New Hampshire, there's so many great causes for healthcare, education, just the numerous causes that the sales support. So it's kind of nice to be part of that too.
Absolutely. So Dan, you are the owner of Head Vodka. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about how you got involved in the spirits industry?
Sure. Well, I'm a co-owner. I have three evil Canadian partners, and
Excuse me.
no problem. That's okay. Yes, I'm not. I have not just slapped my name on this brand. I devised the fluid along with the partners and the packaging and all that, and basically started in the importation business. The great Jean Paul DeJoria, the fantastic entrepreneur who owns Paul Mitchell Systems, the hair systems company, and who owned Patron Tequila. We were friends. He helped us start House of Blues, and we were discussing tequilas. And I said, well, I hadn't really had a good experience with them, and I wanted a better one for my dock. In Canada, we have margaritas on the dock, and I'd only had like two brands to work with, and they were lesser brands, I've got to tell you, than Patron. And he said, well, you should try the Patron. And I tried it, the smoky, silky, beautiful, smooth flavor. And I said, well, can I bring it to my little government liquor store here in Ontario? We have a similar setup, an agency setup here, state setup. And he said, well, you got to bring it to the whole country. So I became the importer for Patron to Canada with JP, and we made it the number one luxury brand in Canada. Why shouldn't Canadians have what Americans have been drinking for so long and enjoying? And now it's right up there in the luxury brand category, and we help them with their foreign sales. They're sold now to Bacardi. I'm no longer into it, but I started getting to looking at other categories and inquiring about the legends in the business who created things and how they did it, and the industry change and innovation that's needed if you wanted to break through with something. And I began to look at vodkas, and I began to open some of them up and taste them, and a lot of them smelt as if they had perfume in them, or they didn't have a smell at all. And I thought, well, why is that? We're supposed to be making cocktails with something that should have a gentle flavor, a scent of alcohol, and a taste of alcohol. Well, that's because they use these oils, and I inquired about the oils, and I found out that a lot of lesser products put glycerol, not enough to hurt you or kill you, but it is a cousin to antifreeze. If you're a bar chef, wouldn't you rather have a vodka that doesn't have a cousin to antifreeze in it? I figured. And then they put limonene, which is in its caustic form is lemon oil. Of course, it's a cleanser and can be used as a solvent. And I thought, well, not they don't put enough to hurt you or kill you, but if you're a bar chef, what could you do without it? And so we found out that they use these masking oils to mask the pure spirit. And I thought, well, if we have the right water and the right mash, maybe we can get away with not using these oils and come up with an award-winning fluid that the consumer wants. And we created the corn mash from Chatham, Ontario, from the peaches and cream corn from the fields over there. And we married it with the Newfoundland water. And we did our distillation and filtration process, and we didn't put in the glycerol, we didn't put in the limonene, and we didn't put in the sugar. People tasted it. There was a beautiful natural viscosity, not a fake viscosity that you get with some vodkas or other alcoholic beverages. And there was no fake oiliness to it. It was genuine from the peaches and cream corn. There was a beautiful sweetness from there. And we ended up with a vodka that got the notes of vanilla, sweet, dry, and crisp. And we had a 92, I think, point rating on that. And we went worldwide with it, and people love it. So the Newfoundland water, we make it with the water from Newfoundland, Canada, the water that's right under the province of Newfoundland. And we use it there in the government still. It's the last state-owned still in the world. It manufactures under contract for us. And vodka is an old Russian word for water. So we started with sweet water, and we go to a lot of trouble with track that corn. We drive that corn, about a tenth of the way across Canada, and we get on a ferry boat, and it goes over to the distillery and then goes back into the market. No one takes the trouble to make cleaner vodka than we do at Crystal Head. I mean, we truck things all over the place, tanks and shipping containers, just to make sure the consumer gets a premium experience when they pick up our Head. They're not only getting a beautiful design package, but they're getting a quality experience, which brought us to 70 some countries, millions of bottles sold, and awards all over the place for the fact that we have cleaned it up, and it's a clean beverage, and discriminating consumers who want to pay a little more for an affordable luxury like it. It's about $1.32 more for your 2-ounce pour than it would be for a lesser product or a higher or a premium product in our range. So it's really not that much to step up. And of course, people love it at Christmas and Halloween. We do the gift giving thing, but it's really more than the package. The fluid is there, and that's what the industry is starting to realize now.
Where did the name come from?
Well, we wanted to sell the idea of pure thinking, enlightened drinking, enlightened thinking. You don't need the oils. You don't need the pollutants. You don't need the fusel oils. You don't need the masking oils. We got a good, clean, natural fluid here made from beautiful peaches and cream corn, Newfoundland water, distilled. We get those notes that I told you about, sweet, vanilla, dry, crisp, lovely flavor. And we thought, it's pure. It's a pure spirit. We don't want to pollute it with anything. So how do we sell the image of purity? And we came up with the idea of this skull, which replicates the sacred skulls that were used by the Navajo, the Anasazi, the Mayans, the Aztec. In legend, they were crystal balls, which the tribes used to look into the future, to try to help with crops and crop health and the general mental and spiritual well-being of the tribe. They were sacred artifacts. And we basically took and copied the Mitchell Hedges skull, which was found in Belize. It was found in Lublin by a young woman. She was 12 years old. Her name was Anna Mitchell Hedges, and her grandfather was an explorer. And she reached into a cave and found this beautiful skull with a detachable jaw. It sat in Ontario for many years and had powers of healing, according to people. The woman who owned it, Mitchell Hedges, she would open it up and take the cloth off it, and immediately a feeling of well-being came over one. So I thought, that's a good legend, purity, well-being. Let's put a little grin on it. It has a little smile. It's a happy little skull. And so we decided to go with the idea of Crystal Head being that it sort of it tells you the story of purity and kind of enlightenment and a spirituality aspect as well. Now, the bottle's not crystal. It's obviously glass. But you can just call it the skull. She doesn't mind, or he doesn't mind. Call her Johnny, call her Joy, call him Johnny, Joy. We don't care. We're full LGBTQ2S here, all the way. In fact, we are so proud to have our diversity bottle, which comes out in June for all the parades and everything. We have a great constituency and community that has embraced our product because we are Canadian made. We are not made in countries that discriminate against people's choice for same gender preference or any preference or how they want to be. And so we support causes, and we're have a beautiful constituency. And that's why we commemorate Pride every year with this limited edition bottle, and it'll be out in the summer. And that's our corn there as well.
So we've got a couple of questions for you.
Sure. And then I'll show you the Onyx product, which is really exciting. That's what we're going to sample tonight.
So Tracy here on Zoom, Tracy has been to, I want to mention, she's been to all of our events except one. So she is a great supporter of this program. She is curious what your go-to cocktail with Crystal Head is.
Wow, there's a few I mean, I just like it in the bar car martini, shaken with ice, a rinse of white vermouth in the glass, pour out the vermouth, a lemon slice or olives shaken, vodka shaken in there and put into a glass up, just simple
There it
as
is.
I'm having it tonight. And that way all your notes and flavors come out without putting a mixative. But Crystal Head is made for cocktails. It's the blank canvas. It's the virgin slate that bar chefs love because it doesn't have the oils in it. They're going to be adding all kinds of things today. They're going to be adding, Fernet Blanca. They're going to be adding, Red Bull. They're going to be adding emulsified sugars and all kinds of, bitters and elderberry. And playing with vodka or any drink, there's a bar chef of any sophistication's got a lot of additives that are going to go into it, so they love that. If I had to use an additive or wanted to use an additive, I like taking a tumbler of Crystal Head, say 3 ounces, pour it in a glass, and then I take a Tangelo or tangerine or clementine, and I just squeeze that slowly in there as if you're infusing the yolk of an egg in there, let it swirl around in the glass, and then stir it gently. And that's the Crystal Driver. That's the greatest screwdriver ever, the fresh orange juice, right from an orange with the head, simple head. And then we were in Las Vegas with a promotion, and they were selling gallons of this, and it's 2.5 ounces of the head, a little bit of elderberry syrup, egg white, and a white cranberry juice, again shaken and up in a cocktail glass. And so we call that the roulette head for when you're at the table. So yeah, but you can drink Crystal Head anyway, cold shot. You can drink it with any kind of mixative or additive, and the thing about it is because there's no masking oils, you're gonna put a mix there, but the alcohol's gonna creep up. You're gonna taste it and smell it. It's gonna be, it doesn't let the mix dominate it. It's very strong vodka, very strong, very strong.
Awesome. And then before you go into the Onyx, I did just want to let you know we've got lots of comments from people saying that Crystal Head is my favorite. I love Crystal Head. It's awesome. So I just want to make sure everybody watching is a fan.
Well, thank you. We work hard, as I say, to make it pure and make sure that you have a guaranteed wonderful experience when you bring it home. And you bring home a head and have 5 friends. That's a great experience. Not one head per person over time, but I had it with 5 people, or maybe our large head here with 10 people. It's fun, and you can be sure you're giving your host when you come with a gift, a really a quality item, and also you're serving as a bar chef or an operator of a nightclub or just at home. There's no question you're serving your people the best, and why shouldn't they? They deserve it. Why shouldn't they get that? Yeah.
So what do we have next?
Well, so we've got we have the lovely the corn I told you about that our diversity bottle is that, and then the clear, and then we also have a mirror finish bottle that has a wheat vodka in it, and that is our Aurora bottle to commemorate the Aurora Borealis. We're a Canadian company and quite proud of it, and a lot of similarities between New Hampshire residents and us. Weather. A lot of French Canadian and Franco-Americans in New Hampshire. And so we take that Yorkshire wheat from England, and it's very soft, a gentle winter wheat. And the notes on that are a little drier, and it's more bold. It's drier. It's a little bold. It's a little more peppery, with a hints of anise in there. Again, makes great mixed drinks. I don't have an Aurora bottle with me here, but you can get it, I think, in the outlet stores. It comes with the mirror finish on it. And then we've developed something the industry has never seen before. We have built a vodka based on a blue Weber agave mash. That's what you usually make tequila out of, right? This isn't a tequila. This is a blue Weber agave vodka with our black piano finish bottle. And this has just received an amazing rating from the Anthony Dias Blue panel. He writes that it's deep, rich, smooth, lush with rich texture, clean, intense with an obvious note of agave, earthy, silky, smooth, and lush, seamless and concentrated, elegant and long, clearly another triumph for the Crystal Head brand. So what a wonderful endorsement. What we did was we took the Blue Weber agave mash and we retained some of that agave flavor, not over distilling it. It's earthy, again, makes great cocktails. It's got a little snap to it. Another note, one of the other tasters said was white pepper, hints of citrus, hints of green grass. So you roll it around on your tongue just cold like this, and you start to get all these wonderful hints that people are talking about. And we're really thrilled. We think this is going to do really well because the bar trade loves it. When we can all get back into bars and start enjoying the conviviality of having a drink and a toast together. I know everybody misses it as much as I do.
Absolutely. We can't wait to get
I know.
back
I see the day. I see the day. Manchester, New Hampshire. All those beautiful old mills and the bars and restaurants there that were thriving before this thing. The way that city was being repurposed as an entertainment center and a high-tech center with caterers and restaurants and bars and catering to those intelligent, beautiful people that have come there. Manchester's coming back.
So Dan, we have another question for you. I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask you anyway. One of our viewers on Facebook wants to know if you've ever been to New Hampshire.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Hey, home of Adam Sandler. And is it Seth Meyer? Is he from there as well?
I think so.
But I definitely Adam. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I love it. Lake Winnipesaukee. Again, The Great Outdoors, the movie I made about cottage country. People in New Hampshire and those lakes can relate to that Canadian cottage experience that we kind of wrote the movie and based it on. So lots of similarities there. As I say, big Franco-American communities there. And that's where UB Halloween is from. Come on. I love that Halloween movie he did. It was so funny. And the old man of the mountain. Glad to see he was kind of rebuilt there. And no, I love the state. I think it's just magnificent. Been many times.
Well, we can't wait to have you back for Distillers Week again. So maybe next year.
Please, next year, please. Come on, let's, I would have come. But this has been fun. This has been a great program, and you've taken people, I guess, on some distiller and wine tours, and it's an honor to be a part of it. And I'm just so proud to be able to talk about a product that we work hard on, and that has been so well received. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been well received here in New Hampshire. This event tonight had one of our highest registrations and one of our highest pre-comments of people telling us how much they love the brand. So
excellent. Well, I hope you're all still awake there. I hope I'm keeping them up. I hope I'm keeping them up.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Jennifer from Facebook, she lives here in New Hampshire. She wants you to know that she has 2 vanity plates based on the Great Outdoors movie.
Okay. Roman, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know if I should say it on the air what her plates are, because now people are going to follow her around. But yes, that is related to one of them.
Uncle Roman. Yeah. That was fun. That was John Candy, of course, and John Hughes, the wonderful writer. He wrote 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, and The Great Outdoors. And I got to work with him, which was really a great experience. He was a sweet guy and one of the most prolific and intelligent and funny writers in the trade. And my whole career has been working with great collaborators, and boy, he sure was one of them. Yeah.
Well, we love the collaboration you're doing right now with your vodka, with you and the other owners. And somebody on Facebook is curious if you could tell us a little bit about what makes your process different than other brands.
Well, the first thing is we don't add the oils. The second thing is we don't over distill. Many vodkas are distilled 6, 7, 8 times. 7 times. We've seen one there that they declare on their label. We only distill 4 times. We don't want to take that flavor of that peaches and cream corn out and of the wheat and of the agave and the onyx. So we only go to 4 distillations, 3 on the agave, even preserving even more of that original mash flavor. And we do lesser products will do a carbon filtration where they just spray the fluid through a carbon pad and it goes down into a vat. We do an agitated carbon filtration process. It takes many more hours than just a carbon pad spray. So we agitate the carbon crystals and it goes through agitated charcoal, and then it goes through our micron filters. So there's no impurities at all. By the time it hits that cone of Herkimer diamonds, it's clean. It's clean. There's nothing left in it. We use Herkimer semi-precious stones as the final finished filter. They come from 3 places in the world: Oaxaca, Mexico, a valley in Afghanistan, and in upstate New York, strangely enough. They bubble to the surface in the summer, and many are multicolored, but we use the clear or cloudy white ones that are carved at both ends. They're pointed at both ends by nature, and we put them in that filter. And you know, we have to change those every few months because they become yellow. It's taking something out at the last there to make us super pure. We're not sure really what's going on with the crystals there. Why would the impurities act on them? But they do have to be changed. They do have to be cleaned. So by the time that fluid hits the bottle, it's just the cleanest. I believe it's the cleanest vodka made. I really do.
Awesome. Jessica here on Zoom says, thank you for making your product so pure. She loves it. It's awesome. And she's also wondering if you could tell us your best UFO story.
Well, sure. Let me see. Well, certainly up there in New England, the Allagash boys, they were the ones in Maine. They were at a campsite and they had a fire going. The 4 of them were sitting around, and then they wake up, what they think is like an hour later. Well, they see a light in the sky, and one of them starts shining a flashlight, and then they wake up by the fire. The fire is burnt down, and I think 2 of them went out in the canoe, and they were all abducted, all 4 of them, and they speak quite frankly about it. Of course, Betty and Barney Hill, that is New Hampshire's famous abduction case. Betty and Barney were residents of New Hampshire. He worked for the post office, and she was a social worker. And in fact, the state of New Hampshire has a plaque to commemorate the alleged abduction. The Barney and Betty Hill incident is a very famous one. They were taken into a ship by little gray people from Zeta Reticuli. She was shown a map. She was semi-conscious of the whole thing, although he wasn't. And in hypnosis later, it came out that they had shared memories and shared stories there about this abduction that they both undertook. Now, the other side of it will say they were in a hypnagogic sleep, and there was deep hypnosis going on there for some reason, and they saw Venus or Pluto, and they recalled that in hypnosis, and it wasn't a UFO at all. They were really just recalling seeing a planet. And as far as the creatures, though, that's inexplicable. And I think that that's a very credible story, the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. So New Hampshire's own great UFO story.
Awesome. Thank you. We did have a couple people also leave comments that when you were here last year, they talked to you about UFOs. And so I just...
Well, yep. Well, the United States Navy has released that F-18 footage from the West with the Tic Tac flying around there, and the pilots, wondering how they operate. There's so many great stories. I think if you get on the MUFON website, Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, you will find the weekly sightings, the daily sightings that are happening. And, I believe they're coming and going like taxis. I believe that some have benevolent intentions, some have malevolent intentions. We just won't know. But I think we should be prepared, all of us, and prepare our children and our families for the fact that this is real and that we may be exposed to more of it. And let's just get it in the right spirit that, let's just accept and then prepare ourselves for how we might want to deal with these emissaries should they declare themselves to us. But I do believe they do not want to really have formal contact with humans, because we're not the greatest species in the universe all the time, may I say.
Well, I think that everybody on the line tonight is a great representation of our species. I've been working with Mark for a long time and he is fabulous. And Dan, you have been great to talk to so far. So I think we are all great representations of our species.
Let's agree. Yes, let's agree on that. Yes, indeed. I think so. And Mark, what store do you work at?
I actually am the spirits buyer now for the state. I've been the spirits buyer for going on 9 years.
We
But
met.
yeah, last year. Then
Yeah.
I was helping load all those cases last year. You were nice enough to sign all those bottles. My wife and I were down there loading cases, and I got one of the John Alexanders right here that you autographed for me last year that I purchased at
Yeah, beautiful.
Showcase. So we were happy to have you last year. And like Carol Ann said, we can't wait to get you back here in New Hampshire again. The fans love you, and we had a great night with you that night.
No, I'd love to do a tour and hit some rural spots and hit some little stores and agency stores and some mom and pop liquor stores. People come out of college, some young people, and they say, "What should I do?" I say, open a state licensed liquor store in the Northeast, man. You can build it into a beautiful business, and it's a fun business too.
Well, I think that the next time you're here, you should come to our Milford, New Hampshire Liquor and Wine Outlet because it's walking distance from my house.
Good. Nice to have a commute where you can do that. Are you from there?
I'm originally from Massachusetts. I'm a New Hampshire transplant a few years ago.
Oh, well, you're in a beautiful spot in the world, man. It's nice. Winter, summer, fall, don't matter. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And it's free. Nice attitude. The government has a good attitude towards its citizens, You're less likely to get a speeding ticket in New Hampshire than anywhere. The cops and the authorities there, they give a little leeway. They're reasonable. They're common sense operators, which is really good.
So Dan, I know we're here to talk about vodka, but
Anything.
We've got a question from the audience. Tim here on Zoom, he wants to know if you're still in the wine business.
Not anymore. No, we've kind of let that license lapse. I bought up the last of my stock in Ontario here last summer, and that company has moved on to other focuses, and so I'm not in the wine business anymore. Really, no. I'm a consumer of it, and would and in an outlet store when I visit there in the future. Of course, I'd be loading up on the good old Bordeaux's and Cabernets, and I love wine from Washington State. The Walla Walla, Washington State wines. And Oregon has some wonderful Pinots and great Cabernets coming out of Washington State. So when I go to a restaurant, I look for the Washington State Cab, and I order that. I love it.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite of your Crystal Head products, or is that like choosing a favorite child?
Well, they're all real clean and good. Depends. Like I would say the Aurora. If I wanted to make a Bloody Mary, I like the spiciness of the dry, crisp, the dry, bold flavor there for making a Bloody Mary. I would say if for the corn, I like that citrus mix, and for mixing sweeter mixes, the corn. The Onyx, I've just been drinking it straight. It's just, you go, well, it would surely make a great cocktail like the others, but then, I don't know, I've just been enjoying it. Almost it's almost like a white whiskey. It's almost like a white whiskey, and if you close your eyes, almost, and it's definitely a sipping beverage. So I've just been enjoying all three in different ways.
Awesome. I'm going to give Dan a quick break because Mark, the people of Zoom want to know if they can get a Pride bottle at our stores, and if so, how much is it?
Well, actually, right now they cannot get a Pride bottle. As Dan said, the next release will be coming out in June. But we do have some of the Aurora bottles out there, which you can get. We actually have them out right now in a Christmas pack. Comes with 4 small Crystal Head shot glasses with it. The Onyx is out there. We also had somebody on Facebook ask about different sizes. We have the Crystal Head in the 50 ml. We have it in a 50 ml 3-pack, a great holiday stuffer. We got the 750 size and also the 175 size. And I'll tell you what, you put that 175 on your man cave bar back at home, and that really draws some attention for sure. So
There it is.
have some more of that Pride stuff coming up in the summer. And but right now we have all the other marks that you can get at most of our liquor and wine outlets. Our 36 specialty locations certainly have that whole brand.
Yeah, we got the 175 and then the mini. Again, great gifts. People just they fly out of the stores. People love giving them as gifts. It's just, and as I say, you're getting a great fluid in it. Yeah, cool. The Aurora, then that's the wheat. That's a lovely sunset wheat, lovely soft vodka, and then the Pride, of course, is the corn, and then the Onyx, our blue Weber agave mash, and the response in the industry has been really, really great to this. Bar chefs are realizing we've got something breakthrough that we can all have fun with. Yeah.
And I got a question for you on that the new agave-based one. A lot of people, like you said, Tracy and the crew have been on here for most of these events. We've had a couple tequila events and mezcal events, and people are somewhat familiar with the process when they start making tequila, how they bake the agaves. They either steam them in a brick oven or they do them in autoclaves. Is that how this process has started for this particular product as well, or do you do it a little bit different than tequila?
Well, it's a stone wheel. It's a wheel crush. It's a wheel crush, and then we don't overheat it. We do a 2-pot still treatments and then a column still, it has to come to a certain alcohol level to be a vodka. So we have to get it to a certain heat, but we don't overheat it. But we get it to the legal level of alcohol for vodka, and then we add the water, of course. But it's what's different is we don't do the 4 distillations we do with the corn. We do only 3 with this, and 2 of them are in pot stills. So, by the time your mash hits the pot still there, there's a lot of heat anyway. So it's a stone crush, just the traditional way. Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's from Izaretta. Izaretta is the district it comes from. It was a sub-district near Jalisco. Is where our plantation is that we're buying from now. Yeah.
So Dan, you mentioned you were kind of inspired by tequila. You think you'll ever get into the tequila business?
Well, right now we're focused on vodka. I had a lot of fun with Patron. I think that using the blue agave Weber as a mash crosses a bridge. It will appeal to tequila drinkers and it will appeal to vodka drinkers. So I think this is as far as we're going to dip our toe into the tequila arena. And really, it's not a tequila. Again, it is a vodka, and we don't claim it to be a tequila. We say it's a vodka and how it's treated. But the blue agave mash is common in the tequila business, and now it's common to our vodka treatment. So I think that's as far as we might go in terms of using this Mexican agricultural product.
Dan, you mentioned early on that your friendship with John Paul and Patron. I would imagine you had a chance to visit down there.
I never made it to the hacienda. We were so busy growing the brand, traveling, getting it started, and with other things, I had never made it down there. But JP and I do owe ourselves a trip. I know that he sold it already, but he'll always love the company and the association with Patron. And JP and I have promised ourselves when we have the time to get down there and visit together, as I hope to do. He's pretty busy now. He's building out some real estate in the Caribbean, and he's going to be building an ethical spa there that's so exciting. And he's just kind of figuring out his fourth act, Amazing entrepreneur, great inspiration, and a great guy.
So Dan, I know you already talked about this a little bit, but somebody just joining us on Facebook is wondering if you can talk a little bit about where the water for your vodka comes from.
Right. Well, so the Wisconsin Glacier, that was the big chunk of ice that sat above all of us, where you are in New Hampshire, where I am in Ontario here. That sat, 16, 17,000 years ago. That melted from about 800 feet above us into the earth and the Canadian Shield and all of the Great Lakes. That was the original water. Now, that water melted into the province of Newfoundland, which is a porous, rock, 900 feet at one point above the ocean. And it's a beautiful province off away from, you need a 9-hour, 7-hour ferry ride to get there. You get there by air. There are no bridges or roads to Newfoundland. And that water went down through the sponge of that beautiful porous rock filled with lakes and ponds and collected in an aquifer at the bottom of the rock, a basin right there in the aquifer with the rock protecting it from the salt water of the ocean, of course. A big basin of it sits there below our distillery. So starting out, it's the purest, sweetest water in the world anyway, coming out of there, out of the pipe up into the distillery. And that water, the rain in Newfoundland, the waters of Newfoundland have never been really touched by what's known as the Erie plume of pollution. At the turn of the century, you had railways and steel companies building locomotives and processors for coke and coal, and there were big mills that were burning all kinds of sulfurites, and that went and killed lakes in Vermont and Ontario, New Hampshire. There were many lakes dead in the 70s, and you couldn't catch a fish there. That Erie plume of pollution never touched Newfoundland, ever, because it's 1,000 miles away from the Erie Basin. So the water's the purest in the world, and vodka's an old Russian word for water. I figured that's where to start. Where do we find that beautiful, pure water? And to have a government distillery manufacturing our product is quite a thing, because there's the last state-owned still in the world, and they police the quality very, very tightly.
David here on Zoom is wondering if you've ever looked into or thought about creating flavored vodkas.
Well, we would then compromise our purity issue and our purity appeal. If we started to do flavored vodkas, we'd have to be adding oils. And so, no, we're in the flavored vodka business.
Original flavor.
Yeah, it's just that's I think we've got a good thing here, and we don't need to fool around with that. And we were just going to focus on vodka flavored vodkas with these different mashes that we have now. Yeah. So the flavors in our vodka, really, again, sweet vanilla, dry, crisp, star anise, peppercorn, citrus, green grass, lush, all these smooth notes. We're doing okay without flavors. Yeah. But fair question. A lot of people do it.
All right, everyone. So I am at the point in tonight's program where I'm going to tell you the code word for tonight's event. So if you're playing along with our Passport app, it is code word time. And then we've got some more questions for Dan. And so code word first, okay? Are you ready? Are you ready for the code word? I'm going to take the silence as agreement. The code word for tonight is skull. So enter that into your Passport app and get 100 points for tonight's event. So now I've got another exciting announcement. So those of you watching on Zoom, Crystal Head is giving away a $100 gift card to our stores for those of you who pre-registered to attend tonight. So I'm going to ask Dan another question. And while he answers that for you, I'm going to put all of your names into a randomizer, and I'm going to pull a random attendee to win the $100 gift card. All right, so Dan,
Cool.
Please take your time answering this question while I pull the winner, okay? Oh, where did the question go? There's so many coming up, sorry.
All subjects are open.
Well, somebody on the line tonight went to high school with your wife and is wondering how she's doing. That's
Oh, she's great. She's out west getting ready for Christmas, and she is the Christmas angel for sure. The house there will look like it's been sprayed with Christmas decorations, and yeah, she's just being very careful, isolating, and being very careful in her social interactions, and taking the whole thing seriously. Yeah, but she's in great health. Looks amazing, better than she has in ever. She just gets better and better that way, and in every other way, she's a prize.
awesome. And then David here on Zoom, sorry, I'm still inputting the names. We've got a lot of people on tonight. David here on Zoom is wondering if you could talk a little bit more about your blue agave vodka. He's very interested in it.
Sure. Well, the Weber agave is what the high quality 100% agave tequilas are made from, and we thought, well, we have a Yorkshire wheat mash, we've got a corn mash, let's see if we can take the agave mash and let's treat it like a vodka and try to do the vodka style on it, which is the different style filtration. And we heated it up to a vodka temperature. Tequila usually is not heated to vodka temperature, but we heated it up to vodka temperature, but removed that last distillation to keep the flavor and the earthiness of it. And it bridges the gap between vodka and tequila in a very imaginative way, we believe. The mash comes from Izareta, which is near Jalisco, and again, the achievement here was to heat it to the vodka temperature, but not so that you lose that earthiness and that blue agave flavor that you do get in good premium tequila. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, everyone, are you ready to hear the winner tonight? I think you are. All right. Well, I mentioned her earlier, and I'm actually very excited to tell you that tonight the winner of the gift card is Tracy. So what I did is I took the number of people on the line, I chose a number at random from that, and then I went and I pulled that number from the registration list. So Tracy, congratulations. Surprisingly, this is her first prize, even though she's attended all roughly 50 of our events so far.
Well deserved then. Well deserved for her. That's great.
This is awesome.
Congratulations. And she doesn't have to spend it on the vodka. I hope there was no stipulation. She can buy whatever she wants with that $100.
You should try it though, Tracy, while you have the coupon, because everybody who pre-registered got a coupon to give it a try. So I'm wondering, so everybody who's here on Zoom, or if you're watching on Facebook, hopefully I get a lot of answers to this, but raise your virtual hand if you are tasting along with us. I'd love to know how many people are on the line tasting tonight. Got quite a few on Facebook responding that they are tasting along. That's awesome.
There's a great comment on Facebook I have to bring up from Mark. It says, would Joliet Jake prefer your vodka over Jack Daniels?
I'm afraid that old Johnny there would have liked a whiskey, I think. He'd like the whiskey, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. There's been a great documentary out on him on Showtime, which was very heartfelt and told the story about really how intelligent and how accomplished he was, and and so it was very moving to see that how well it was treated. It depicted him in a better light than maybe some accounts have shown him, But again, that cocaine, a lot of people still die from that, still today. Everything in moderation, just one head among five, not one head among one.
Exactly. Everything in moderation.
Yep.
Like the fact that you're all drinking along at home means you're already taking a great step towards drinking responsibly. You're not driving tonight, so great job. Please drink responsibly, everyone.
And I'm having one, and that's it. And then I'm going to get in the Bluesmobile and drive very slowly home. But I'm cutting off there at that 2.5 ounce. That's it. So, yeah.
Dan, we have clearly some of your fans are on the line tonight. So not just vodka fans, but your fans. So somebody here on Zoom is wanting to know, are you going to be back on SNL anytime soon?
That was just before the election, Lauren and I were speaking about me going down there and maybe doing Richard Nixon and waking Trump up in a dream. Get up, you putz. What are you doing lying there like a little girl?
Please do that.
Well, and then, of course, there was so much political humor they were dealing with. There was really no room for kind of a frivolous piece like that. They really had to address the debates. They had to address all the stuff that Trump was up to, and so I understand why it didn't happen, and I agreed with Lauren that maybe we might have to do it at a different time, but I don't know if it'll be that sketch, but maybe something in the future. Yeah, but we were talking about it seriously. It's just that they were swamped with all of the satire that they had to deal with. That that kind of took a secondary position, and I agreed with them. They should have concentrated on what they did ultimately concentrate on, which was the debates in the election. Yeah.
So I speak for myself and probably a lot of others on the line when I say that I'm very glad you got into the vodka business, but somebody is wondering why you got out of wines.
The company just decided that the license had run its course. The interest in the blends with that label had dissipated, and they have focused on other labels that they had stock for, and it kind of just kind of evaporated. Really, a natural. We had the line for almost 12 years or so, and it was good while it lasted, and they just decided that they wanted to put the resources into other labels and other appellations. So the Dan Aykroyd line, the Dan Aykroyd wine label and appellation is available. If there are winemakers out there of any credible status that would like to get into business with me, I have my name and knowledge to lend to the project, and we could come up with some great reds and whites. But I would have to, be talking to more established names, not startup vineyards at this time.
All right, Mark, question for you. I know you mentioned that when Dan was here last year, he signed a bunch of bottles. Are any of those left in stores? Because we've got a few viewers who are interested in one.
I would venture to guess there probably is not at this time. Dan, as we mentioned, my wife and I and a few other people loaded in pallets of cases. Dan spent a couple hard hours signing bottles for us.
Anytime.
Yeah, we the ones that we didn't sell at the show, we sent out to some select stores, and those, as you know, our distiller showcase is usually the first week in November, so it's right before the holidays. So many of those got scooped up. But when you're out and about, it certainly wouldn't hurt to go over to the vodka section, and you certainly can find the Crystal Head jumping off the shelf and take a look if you happen to see the Dan Aykroyd, John Hancock on there, and be lucky enough to get one of those bottles. But again, if we're lucky enough to get back to somewhat normalcy next year and maybe get the showcase back to live down in Manchester and get Dan back here in New Hampshire, I'm sure if we can get him here, he'd love to sign some bottles. And we've got a great business relationship with Dan's supplier down here in Infinium Spirits. They really help us out with all the products and getting us all these different marks that Dan's created in his company. And also Horizon Beverage, our local broker, really works hard to keeping our shelves stocked. So we're really thankful to them, and Dan and his whole ownership group. We're really proud to represent them here in New Hampshire. So thank you, Dan.
I'll sign as many bottles you want me to, Mark, anytime. I think we're up to 300,000 now. The Harley clutch hand, 12 pounds. It hurts, but it's worth it.
All right, Dan, we just have one more question for you before we let you get on with your night. Demi here on Zoom is wondering, what made you choose Yorkshire wheat? Being from that area, it's great to hear a product fairly local to us is doing so well in your vodka.
Well, it's a single farming system. That's important to us. All the products are single farm. Whether the wheat is coming from the same source that it has, that it's been growing there since the 1800s, as well as the corn that we have, and I'm not sure about the Weber agave, but it's a single source farming system, and therefore the way it's grown, it's they're on well, of course, certainly no chemical additives. It's the original strain of wheat that's always grown in that area. And we just like the winter wheat, the softness of it. It's a little softer than rye, but it makes a great mash for our product. And I believe that the farm system that we're coming from is very conscious about diurnal and nocturnal rotation in terms of feeding. I don't think they use any phosphates at all. I'm sure they don't. And what else? Yeah, that's why we like the Yorkshire wheat, because it's softer, and also it comes from that single farming system. It's a lot of trouble. I gotta get that mash to the by boat to the distillery and then back out into the market. But we are not going to compromise. We're going to deliver our consumer and our clients and vendors the best. That's it. We can't compromise.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been such a pleasure. For everybody on via Zoom, you received a coupon for Crystal Head, so you could try any of the varieties that we sell. We will be sending you that coupon again tomorrow morning with a little thank you and a link to tonight's recording, so you can rewatch, go slowly through when Dan's talking about the recipes if you want to make any at home. And if anybody has any trouble, if you had any issues with your coupon, I'm putting my email address in the chat here on Zoom. Just shoot me an email. I can send it right over to you. Tracy, congratulations on your gift card win, courtesy of Crystal Head Vodka. You have my email address. Shoot me an email and we will get you your gift card so you can do some holiday shopping, maybe for yourself. And again, tonight's code word is skull. Skull after the fabulous Crystal Head bottles that look like smiling skulls, grinning skulls. There's the big one that serves 10. So Dan, thank you again. We hope to see you next year for Distillers Week.
Oh, no doubt.
Mark, thank you for answering so many questions tonight and for being on with me throughout all of these events. It's been such a pleasure. I can't believe our spirit events are coming to an end in a couple of weeks. So, if you want to get some more spirits time in, be sure to pre-register for the next week or so's worth of events. And then we will be focusing on wine for the month of January.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Unfortunately, we won't have Dan back on because he's not involved with his wine anymore, but we would have had you back on during Wine January, Dan.
Well, look out for those Washington and Oregon wines. They're great. Happy holidays, everybody. We got to be kind to each other and we got to be compassionate. This is the watchword of the age and the day right now. And we all need each other. So everybody needs somebody to love.
Awesome. Well, good night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really
Good night.
appreciate your time. Good night.